All right. Hello, and
Hey,
welcome to a daytime version of Hot Talk with Jill Tracy. I am pleased and so excited to have the president of Jackson State University with us today, Thomas Hudson. How are you, sir?
Jill, I am doing great. How about yourself?
I am blessed, thank you, and excited for what is about to happen in South Florida. Now, I am a Michigander from Detroit, but I
Okay.
came down to FLOMO, Florida Memorial University,
hmm
HBCU, and
Yeah.
a lot of years ago. Um, and that's when I first learned about the rich culture, quite honestly. We had
hmm
fairs, my mother went to fairs of HBCUs in the South. And this game, the Orange Blossom Classic, being one of the paramount, the pillars of HBCU life. So,
Yes.
how exciting is it for you to be bringing it back? What are we like, 25 years now since we've
Yes,
had the game?
exactly. And look, let me start off by saying thank you so much for this interview and just the ability and the opportunity to come in and speak with you about this game, about Jackson State, HBCUs in general. Visited Florida Memorial actually this past summer, spent a couple of days there.
Oh, good.
Great campus, loved the campus, saw an iguana, which scared the heck out of me, but apparently that's a common theme over there on the campus. I didn't know what
Yeah.
I was looking at until someone spotted it, told me what it was. But no, really
The
appreciate this
oh, the
opportunity.
iguanas
Yeah,
surrounding the yeah. Early
yeah,
in the morning, yeah, they greet you.
yes, yes. But to answer your question, we are very excited to bring this game back.
Mhm.
We're very excited. Jackson State and FAMU, even outside of the Orange Blossom Classic, just have a rich history in terms of rivalry. Of course, you know about the football teams, and of course, Coach Prime, Willie Simmons,
Yeah.
that great matchup there, but also the bands, the
Yeah.
Sonic Boom of the South, and, whatever FAMU calls themselves. We are, very excited about that rivalry. No, we're very familiar. I have a couple of people in my administration who are FAMU grads, and I like to rib them a little bit about the bands. But this is
Uh-huh.
a very exciting classic. Dr. Larry Robinson, of course, is their president. Really great guy, and we're just looking forward to the fellowship. It's really like family getting back together, so we're very excited about that.
I love it. And and so much is your story. I think that, a lot of the rich HBCU traditions,
Mhm.
I don't want to say would be have been lost, but have sort of been playing in the background. But
Mhm.
now with some really stellar worldwide renowned athletes children
Mhm.
now bringing it home to HBCUs, there's
Correct.
it's like, hello, it's time.
Yes,
And you are proud of you went to Jackson State
I did.
and now are back as president. So, share with us, that story, how that trajectory happened and how much it gives to you to give to your incoming freshmen.
Wow, well, it's amazing. Jackson State has literally been a part of my life since inception.
That's
My
awesome.
mom went to school here. It was the first college I knew about. I used to go back because she went back after she had me. So I used to come to school and classes with her. So Jackson State was the first school I know. I
Mm.
grew up with it. When I look outside my window in my office, I can see my old middle school right there. So
Wow, that's dope.
it's just a part. I grew up, not only, I tell people, not only did I grow up in Jackson and go to Jackson State, but I
Mm.
grew up in West Jackson, where Jackson State is actually located. So
Wow.
very familiar with the history. Graduated from there, went to law school
Mhm.
in another part of the state, came back, worked at Jackson State, and just kind of worked my way through the administration. And when the opportunity came to lead the alma mater, I was very excited and happy to do so. If there's a message in there for incoming freshmen or really anyone, it's that
Mhm.
HBCUs can take a person like myself. I wasn't the best student, I wasn't highly recruited, but I was someone that they saw something in me that I did not even see in myself. And they molded me into a person who could come back and lead this great university. Very excited. That's an HBCU story. We have to tell that story as much as possible. I can't thank you enough for giving us this platform to continue to do so.
Mhm. And when I was deciding going to it's a it's a scandalous story. Nonetheless, I had run away with Prince.
Mm.
My aunt's boyfriend was roommates with the members of the time.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
So they
Okay.
came to do Michigan and Saginaw and Ypsilanti, and I called myself running away with them. I came home and my mother had made arrangements already for me to go to Florida Memorial. And I was like, who said I wanted to go all the way to Florida? And she said, Miss Jill Tracey, you are going to a Black college because other colleges build workers. Black colleges build leaders.
That's right.
And when I tell you, that was just like, okay, yes, I am. Because I want to be in that number. I mean, it set the tone for the rest of the trajectory. And I know, and I will ask you how it works for you as well, that going to a Black college gave me a little continuation of my life at home, but put me into a space to now become not only a professional, but a woman and a friend and a mentor, all those things that now encompass all of my life. Would you say the same for your experience? What would you say in terms of what your experience gave you and what you now pour into your graduates?
Well, it's pretty much the same. Your story, my story. I didn't run away with Prince, but outside of that, I had the very similar stories in terms of just the trajectory. And what you said is so key about making leaders and also being an extension of home. I often say also is that to that point, HBCUs show leadership at all levels. I don't discount any school. I think people should go wherever they can to get a great education, be that an HBCU, another minority serving institution, predominantly white institution, wherever you go. I know being from Michigan, I was in Michigan this summer visiting the alumni and really trying to establish partnerships with some of the high schools and community colleges to really get that pipeline of people going to HBCUs because it's not as familiar there in the Midwest, outside of the Southeast, really.
Right, because HBCU recruiters didn't come to our high schools.
Exactly. So really trying to establish that pipeline and do more and more of that. But really just to your point in terms of leadership, you can see leadership at all levels of HBCU, from the president on down, your finance person, your people in the offices, your people doing all of these jobs, mentors, natural mentors at all stages of life, your deans, your professors, and you really do not get that experience at other institutions. You don't get that experience in many institutions, period, much less educational institutions. So what your mom said was very important. You would see leadership at all its levels at an HBCU, and of course that helps you see yourself in that moment as well. So that was very important.
Yeah, and the access is different. I'm sure on your campus, like at FMU, quite frequently you would see the president or the vice president or some or alumni walking around campus or coming to sit in and and being a part of the university. And that, I think, also sows the seed for you to be thinking about what you're going to do to pay it forward, once you're on the other side. Because I think that we know.
Yes. Yes. I know. Look, what you say is very true. What you said is very true. Seeing those examples is so important, and being able to touch those examples. They're not someone on the screen or something that's unattainable. It's somebody right there that you can see what you can become. Very important here.
Yeah, you wrote a piece that I love: fortifying the mission, turning out graduates who are ethical and technologically advanced global leaders.
Yes.
Properly addressing what's going on effectively. What would you offer incoming freshmen to help keep them focused and keep their eyes on the prize?
Well, that part is important. And one of the things, we really try to focus on is completion, outcome. Yes, we have a wide, rich campus experience. Jackson State does, HBCUs do. We all know about homecoming. We all come back for homecoming. We know we call it the yard at Jackson State, but the yard experience. But you're there to graduate.
Right.
You're there to get your education and graduate, hopefully in 4 years. And that's one of the things that under my administration, we're really going to make a push for, is really producing and helping with those outcomes, improving outcomes for students. In terms of students, college is so expensive these days.
It
A lot of
really
students
is.
go into
What
debt.
happened? I'll
Uh,
stop there for 2 seconds. What
yes.
happened? Why didn't get? I have a couple of mentees at Florida Memorial, and I'm like, hold on, girl. What happened up here? I mean, is it the cost? Are your costs growing at that number?
Well, thankfully, for the last 2 years, we've been able to go without a tuition increase.
Oh,
Okay.
that's amazing.
And actually, 3 years ago, we lowered our out-of-state surcharge from $10,000 to about $1,000. So that's key.
Awesome.
So a student from Detroit,
Mm-hmm.
The next girl, Tracey, that wants to go to Jackson State does not have the burden of such a large out-of-state fee. So those are some of the things that we've been able to do in terms of keeping costs down. Also, this year, we're doing some things, based on what happened. We all know about the pandemic and the continuing effects. We offered free summer school this past year. We're doing free books for our undergrads this year. Anything that we can really do to kind of keep those costs lower. Because as you know, it's not just tuition. You have to live. You have to eat. You have to access books. You have to access all resources.
You got to party.
Yes, you got it. Right. We want you to enjoy that experience. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. So those things are true, but kind of to your point, college is very expensive, and just inflation. And it's all schools. It's not just the Jackson State. You see the for-profit institutions that really play in this space. It's a premium for their services. Jackson State is committed to remaining affordable. I know it's expensive overall, but we're committed to remaining affordable for all students and really providing a place for those to seek their education.
Yeah. Well, hopefully you are seeing a turn towards more other Black organizations. I'm going to shout out. This is, I think, can you see it? Yes. America needs more Black journalists. This is the North Carolina chapter of National Association of Black Journalists, awesome. NABJ. I'm, a member, South Florida Black journalist, and but we support each other. And when they came out with these shirts, I was like, oh my God, we should team up with colleges of all because we do. There is a shortage of young people choosing journalism as a career because they somehow think social media is now taking place. They can get what they want to say done quicker, on social media. And to that point, and we'll wrap up. How do you use social media as a tool to promote, HBCUs and Jackson State University? How effective has that been for you?
Absolutely. Across all platforms, Instagram, Twitter, which is my favorite, of course, even places like LinkedIn, Facebook, all of those mediums, TikTok, which is the newest or the newer one. All of those are things that we really try to use to get our message out there. I have a personal Twitter account, JSU Prez with the Z. And it's just a way that I disseminate messages directly to our students. Look, I'm a boring Twitter follower, but I do try to push out really good information regarding Jackson State and just the great things that are going on there. Of course, the university has its various accounts. We really utilize that not only to communicate internally to our students, messaging to them about things that's going on. We're in the midst of a storm right now that we're working with our students to get them the proper information, but also to connect with people like Jill Tracey, connect with people who might not otherwise know about Jackson State, and just give you a little bit of blurbs about, hey, the great things that are going on here. So I feel we make great use of that digital media. There's always more you can do. I always say you can never over communicate. So, be on the lookout for even more content push from Jackson State University.
That's awesome. And because shouts out to Alonda because she reached out. We met each other years ago. And that's one of those things, that you take from home to college to when you get out in the world, that when when we're at all of these things all over the country, you meet up, you hook up. And when opportunities come, like the Orange Blossom Classic, she was like, oh, let me call my girl. I was like, hey, girl, hey, how you doing? And here we are. And that's so much a part. I think we went through that period of, you got to be a certain, you got to keep a certain thing going on. But when, it's for us, by us.
That's it.
We can really be authentic and really make great things happen. So,
All right.
President Thomas Hudson, I thank you so much for joining me on Hot Talk. I look forward to seeing you when you all are in South Florida, because you have a few little downtowns where we can have cocktails.
Yeah, absolutely. I look forward to it as well. And thank you again for this opportunity, and thank you for the spotlight.
Indeed.
It's you another HBCU, so we really do appreciate it.
Indeed. Anytime you are in the city, we can get together and have cocktails. Alana knows. We'll do that first. And I'll thank you for joining me. This will run again on Sunday as a part of Hot Talk, but I wanted you to be a part of it because the game is on Sunday, so most of you will probably be there. So I hope you had a chance to see it now, or you'll see it throughout the week, and maybe you will join me on Hot Talk. Until then, love you, mean it. I am Joel Tracey, and this is Hot Talk. Okay. And my phone will ring as soon as I finish. Oh, at least you got good timing. Let's put you on message decline. Okay. All right. Let me see. I'm going to make sure that I ended it. Yes. In the broadcast. Yes. Ended.